Alright, I was originally going to just pass this movie right up, but Twitter was just going nuts about it. People are putting it among the top movies of the year so far, and so for the sake of my top 10 movies of 2020 list, I renewed my Hulu subscription. Palm Springs, somewhere I have never been. Yeah, I live in SoCal and I've never been to Palm Springs. Weird. So Palm Springs is a Hulu original movie. It's a comedy starring Andy Samberg and, I always mess her name up, Cristin Milioti. They're both attendants at a wedding, and then Sarah, who's Milioti's character, wakes up the next day to find that she is reliving the same wedding day. Andy Samberg's like, yep, well, you're with me now. We're reliving the same day over and over. So now it's two people in a Groundhog Day-like scenario, and here we go. And yeah, obviously everyone's going to compare this movie to Groundhog Day, which if you haven't seen Groundhog Day, that is okay. Up until a few months ago, I hadn't either, but it's really good. It's on Netflix, check it out. But Groundhog Day is revered for being the classic living the same day over and over movie, so whenever a movie with that premise came out after that, people are just naturally going to compare it to Groundhog Day, usually with the opinion, I'm assuming, of not being as good as Groundhog Day. But this movie, Palm Springs, actually does some pretty cool original things with that concept. Again, now we have two people sharing this experience of living the same day over and over together. One of them has been in this for a while, and the other is completely new to it. So she's gonna be like, what the fuck is going on? How do we get out of this? And he's gonna be like, yeah, just loosen up, have fun. There's no getting out of this, so might as well just live it up. Now, if you've been subscribed to me for a while, then you can probably guess my opinion on Andy Samberg's humor. You would think, oh, his humor is really raunchy, kind of lowbrow humor, and you would think I would hate that stuff. But honest to God, and I can't for the life of me figure out why, but he is the exception to that rule. Because it's true, his humor is very lowbrow, kind of raunchy sometimes, but for some reason, I laugh at it. I find him actually pretty funny. We all know The Lonely Island. Have you seen I Threw It on the Ground? I crack up at that. I threw it on the ground. It's stupid, but for some reason I just find it funny. I don't know why. I have no clue. So honest to God, I thought the humor was pretty good in this movie. For the most part, there were some jokes that fell flat, sure. I never laughed out loud when I was watching this, but there were quite a few points where I was like, nah, yeah, that's pretty funny. Cristin Milioti is also really good in this film. You may know her from that really freaky ass episode of Black Mirror. Yeah, the one where the guy snaps off her face. But I will forever know her as Tracy McConnell. If you know that name, congratulations. I'm a huge fan of that show. But she was the best actor in the movie. Because there's a part of myself that's like, yeah, while I find Andy Samberg funny, I can't take him seriously at all. And there are scenes in this movie that take on a more drama-filled tone. And Andy Samberg's trying to be serious, and I can't take him seriously because I know him for being a funny actor. This movie didn't do for me with Andy Samberg what It Chapter 2 did for me with Bill Hader. Where it's like, oh, I know him for being a funny actor, but nah, he can pull off a good serious scene. He is a legit, serious, good actor. No, Palm Springs didn't do that for me with Andy Samberg. But Cristin Milioti, she's actually a really good actress. She can pull off all the serious emotions, and the chemistry between the two of them was really good, I felt. The dialogue between them was pretty well written, for the most part. I mean, some of the things comedy-wise didn't work for me. Like earlier on in the film, she's like, I am out of here, so she drives from Palm Springs to Austin, Texas within the span of a day? That has never happened ever. I have been on plenty of road trips from LA to Phoenix. Those take all day. To get from Palm Springs, which is a little southeast of LA, to Austin, Texas would take about a week, more or less. So that joke in the movie just didn't land. It was unbelievable. They did it for comedic effect, I guess. But that's one of the jokes that didn't land with me, and it stuck out like a sore thumb. It stuck out because a lot of the comedy does land. Just Andy Samberg's general behavior throughout the film. Again, I can't take him seriously, but I can laugh at him. J.K. Simmons is in the movie. He kind of plays an antagonist, kind of, because he's also in this living the same day over and over scenario, and he blames Andy Samberg for it, so he's like trying to kill him, thinking that would solve his problem, and it doesn't. And you would think, okay, J.K. Simmons in an Andy Samberg comedy movie, he's not gonna be that deep of a character. He's just there for the laughs because he's J.K. Simmons, you know, Parker! Yeah, that's what I thought too. Watch the movie, you'll be proven wrong. But what I really liked about the movie though is that it actually dives into the psychology of like, what would you do if you were stuck in this living the same day over and over scenario? For all you know, it could go on for years. You could be stuck in an infinite loop. You don't age, you don't die. I feel like you would go through the 5 stages of grief thing. Denial, anger, bargaining, depression, and in the end you would just accept it. It's really cool. This movie didn't have to be smart and dive into the psychology of it all, because it's an Andy Samberg movie. People watch it for the laughs. But the deep dive into how these two people react to this situation is why people like this movie so much. Although, side thought, I've always wondered ever since I watched Groundhog Day, if you are stuck in a living the same day over and over scenario, where like you go to sleep and then you wake up and the day resets, what would happen if you stayed up all night? Yeah, think about that. Would you magically just at some point in the night teleport back to your bed and be asleep again? I don't know. no movie I've seen has ever played that out. I would like to see a movie answer that question someday. The music in this movie was actually one of the most, forgettable soundtracks I've heard in a while. I can't remember a note from the music in this movie, I'm being honest, which hasn't happened with me in a while. You know me, I'm a big film score guy. I talk about the film score of every movie I make a video about, but I just can't this time because I can't remember any of it. But maybe that's a good thing, you know? I guess that means it sunk into the movie. It helped out with the vibe. I mean, usually comedy movies don't have notable scores, so there that is. But I didn't hate it, so there is that. In the end, I surprisingly really enjoyed Palm Springs. Andy Samberg was great, Cristin Milioti was great, J.K. Simmons was great. The dialogue was really well written. I like the fact that this movie dives into the psychology of what would you do in the living the same day over and over scenario. That's where this movie wins. Some of the jokes didn't land, but most of them did. And there are no transitions between the scenes. It just goes from scene to scene. It doesn't even start off with a wide shot or a beat or anything. It just goes boom, boom, boom like my videos. Very fast paced. I mean, it's only 90 minutes long, but it worked this time. Hell, I felt that way about Groundhog Day too. I will say Palm Springs is one of the best movies I've seen this year. I know that's not saying much, believe me, but I don't know what to say. I just really liked it. So Palm Springs, have you watched it? What do you think about it? What do you think about it compared to Groundhog Day? And have you ever been to Palm Springs? Is it nice? When's the best time of the year to go? I'm asking for my sake. Whatever you think, go ahead and leave a comment. And don't forget to subscribe.